And there are multitudes of people who call themselves Christians today who don't believe in either heaven or hell. Whereas the Christian church from the very beginning has recognized that as a teaching of Scripture without dispute. It's awesome. Thank God it's clear. And I may add this note that Westminster doesn't happen to mention, though they know it very well, of course, that nobody talked more repeatedly, more warningly than Jesus Christ about hell. He had a great deal more to say about hell than he did about heaven. More about judgment than he did about salvation. You read the Gospels carefully, and you see where the emphasis of Jesus Christ is. Oh, he's comforting, he's assuring, he's inviting, but he's constantly warning. You generation of vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hell? Don't be afraid of him who can destroy the body. Fear him who can destroy body and soul in hell. I'll tell you what to be afraid of, he says in the Lucan account. Be afraid of him who can destroy the body and the soul in hell. No doubt whatever. But I, as a minister of the gospel who must relay Christ's message, even this awesome message, I am deeply grateful for him that he took the onus on himself in the first place, and that he said more about this awful thing of his judgment than anyone else in all of Holy Scripture. The second point which is made here is that at the last day, such as are found alive shall not die, but be changed, and all the dead shall be raised up with the self-same bodies, and none other, although with different qualities, which shall be united again to their souls forever. As you all know, Hal Lindsey's book on the late great planet Earth sold more copies than any nonfiction in the 70s. Something over 12 million copies sold. It's a trumpeting of the joys, imaginary, but nevertheless joys anticipated of the so-called secret rapture. Christ is going to come secretly for his church and take it away. And then later on, he's going to come with his church at the real second coming, and so on. And you hear stories about being in a taxi cab, and if the driver disappears, grab the wheel, and so on. He's a believer, and he's going to be taken secretly by Christ you don't see. The effects of whose coming, though, is recognized and benefited from by those who are true believers. That's, of course, a modern deviation, practically unheard of in the history of the Christian church. Now, Hal Lindsey didn't invent it, of course. It really developed about the turn of the century in England, and then, unfortunately, they exported it to these shores as now almost universal concept. And I find people in professing evangelical Christendom who actually are more excited at the prospects of the secret rapture of Jesus Christ than they are of eternal blessedness. And they're more afraid of having to go through Armageddon or through the seven-year tribulation than they are hell itself. It's an incredible development in our time, but this is classic orthodoxy here, and again, it's nothing specially reformed about it. It's a universal conviction of the Christian branches of the church. At the last day, such as are found alive shall not die, but be changed, and all the dead shall be raised up with the self-same bodies, and none other, although with different qualities. And it